Hey guys, it's Maymay in this little basket. I was at Old Time Pottery recently and I saw a basket that they had turned into a scarecrow and it was so cute. However, it was done with like felt and it looked a little kitty, and I thought I think I could do that a little more like my decor. So here's what I did. I went to my local thrift store and I found this basket, and all I was looking for is something with a pretty flat front, and the one I saw at Old Time Pottery was round, but this one's kind of rectangle. Let me show you the shape. See that? I'll hold it like this. See the shape of it? But I really liked how fall this one looked. So I picked this one up for $1, which was really, really cheap. And I knew I had the stuff in my stash to make this happen without buying anything. So I have not purchased anything. This is all from my stash. All right, well, I purchased this basket. The first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this yellow ribbon because it's not my favorite. And I got to tell you something. I don't know how this is going to turn out. I just thought I would turn the camera on and start to do this and see what we get. I have a pretty good idea of what it's going to end up like because I've kind of thought it out in my head, but I haven't made one before, so we may find some errors together with my plan, and that's okay because I like to show you that kind of stuff too. So when you're walking around craft stores, do you do that too? Do you kind of look at things and go, I think I can make that cheaper than buying it? I do it all the time. Look how cute this basket is. I didn't even realize how cute it was with that ribbon in it. So that's a tip. When you're at the thrift store, be sure to look past what you see just sitting there. So the first thing I want to do is, I love the look of this basket. However, I want his face to look a little more rugged or a little more like an actual scarecrow. And I have this in my stash, this light burlap, which I believe one of you guys sent to me. I don't even think this was mine. I think somebody mailed it to me. But it's a whole bunch of it. And so I cut it down so it would fit right inside the two strips on either side. And I'm going to glue this into place. And we're going to use a lot of hot glue today because I like a quick project and hot glue helps that to happen. So I got some hot glue there, and this is on that little edge there. I'm just going to stick this down to that and pick up my little silicone tool and push that down. Remember, you're working with burlap. That hot glue will squeeze through to you. Got to be careful. And I'm going to let that set for a minute because I want to be able to pull this a little snug, so I want that to be in there nice and snug too. Alright, so now it's time to wrap it. And I'm not going to glue it in the middle. I'm just going to wrap it and glue it back around to the edge. You see, I'm just kind of laying that in between those two pieces. That's kind of been my plan here. I'm not going to secure it anywhere but on the other end. So I'm just going to secure it right here, but I think I'm going to cut this away and then fold it under. Just so it'll look a little bit neater. So I'm just going to tuck this like so before I glue it. Not exactly like that, however. Let's get it a little bit neater. And I'm sure I'll put something here that disguises it or covers it or something. So go. Again, don't burn yourself. Use your tools. If you don't have one of these, just pick up one of those little silicone spatulas from the Dollar Tree. You can use that. I just kind of made this one so out of a piece of silicone. And hold it for just a second while that seals shut. Don't worry about all this right here. We're going to do a lot of decorating, so I'm not too stressed about this. Plus, looks like I can move it up some and stuff like that. But it's a scarecrow, so he can look a little bit scary. But we're going to do a lot of other decorating, so that'll be fine. Okay, and I'm not worried about these pieces. I think they're cute. So this is the part I want to use for his face because I think it turned out the best. The back side, the burlap, kind of lost its shape a little bit. But like I said, I'm going to put some stuff at the tops and the bottom so it'll be fine. So here's where we're going to go for the face. Now, here's what I got. I have a whole bunch of stuff I pulled out of my stash. I have this ribbon left over from a project, this that I bought after Christmas. Let's see, this is one I haven't even opened yet, and then this was sent to me by Teresa. She sent me a whole bunch of stuff and I love this, and I was thinking this would be good for a nose. And let me show you what else. I picked this flower out of my stash, and I love this. Teresa sent me this as well in the same package, and this ribbon, let me cut this open and show you. That ribbon is so cute, and I want that to be kind of at the brim of the hat up here like this, and maybe even down here if I have enough. So that's what we're going to do. The first thing I want to do is make kind of a ruffle for this part because I want it to look like he's got a ruffly hat brim, and I'm going to try it, like I said, I'm going to try it with this brown. My thought process is this. If I do it like this and just ruffle it, it's too long and it takes up a lot of his face. However, if I fold this in half and let that little selvage edge kind of be where the ruffle is, I'll be able to get a cute little kind of hat brim here, and it'll look really, really cute. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. Have you guys ever seen Maymay pull out a needle and thread? Nope, and you probably won't ever see it again because I'll probably be mad at myself for doing this, but this is what I think is going to work. Because I want to make a ruffle. Hey, if you're going to buy the stuff to make this, if like you don't have it in your stash, just buy a ruffle. You won't have to do this part. So I'm taking off a good bit of thread, and I probably need more than that. I'm going to do like a basting stitch. It's not going to be a big deal. I took the ribbon and I wrapped it around the scarecrow, or I wrapped it around the basket once, and then I took that same length, doubled it plus a half. So this is 2.5 times what it takes to wrap around. So I did that to get myself the length I wanted. Now I got to find the end. Here it is. For my thread, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my needle and wrap it around this basket, and just make sure I have enough plus a little to reach around the basket. Then I'll know how long to make my ruffle. So I'm adding about 3 inches to what I actually need. I'm going to tie a little knot at the end just to hold those together. And I threaded that needle off camera because you know what? Threading a needle after 40 is a whole different ball game, isn't it? You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm going to take this ribbon, I'm going to fold it in half. Okay, and then let me do it this way because this way my hand works. So I folded the selvage edge to each other, and here's where the fold is. Now I'm going to take this needle and put it inside here and just basting stitch make a ruffle. You know what I'm talking about? Just run this down, and I'll bring it back up and show you. Basically, I'm just going to thread through it real quick. Then we'll ruffle it as we need to. Because I kind of did my measurement for my ribbon and my thread, I know I've got to get all this ribbon onto this thread to get a good ruffle out of it. So I've got that on there, and I'm going to take this and just tie it off at the end. I've kind of ruffled the ribbon already, and I've got a little more than I need, so I'm just going to cut that away. I'm just going to kind of tie this onto the ribbon. And then cut that off. Alright, now I'm going to cut away this extra because I really don't need it. And now we've created this little ruffle. And it's not perfect, and that's okay. That's what I'm looking for. Remember, he's a scarecrow. When you make a scarecrow for your yard, you typically find, you know, the stuff you had in your thrift store pile or whatever. You're not looking for perfection. I'm going to kind of spread this ruffle out a little bit and get it nice and neat. I just said not perfect, and now I'm getting it neat. Okay, so we can glue it down and make sure I have plenty to go around. Alright, so we're going to start on this corner where I've already got all my folds started anyway. And I'm just going to glue this guy down. And I'm going to glue him right on top of this edge, not underneath it, because I'm trying to save some of that space for his facial features. So I'm going to glue it right to that top edge, just like this. And then we're going to do a little cover up with some more ribbon. And I'm just going to do a strip at a time just to get me going. So see how we've got his little ruffly hat brim. It will be a hat brim before we get done with it. Now I want to work on his facial features because I don't want to get too far in it and not have these right. And the first thing I've got are these 2 little black buttons for eyes. I'm going to put those there. And let's cut a nose so we know we have the right size of a nose. I'm just going to cut a piece of this orange burlap out. And now that I think about it, do I want his nose to be orange? Because I want to do some cheeks too. I was thinking I could do cheeks out of the red. I think I will. Okay, so let's cut a little triangle nose. So that will go there. Look at that. That's going to be cute. Okay, let's glue that down. So while I was editing this footage, I realized that all of this was cut out. Like, I don't know where it went. My camera just stopped filming at some point, and I don't know where, so I got to show you what happened. I cut the little triangle of his little nose and glued that down. Then I glued the 2 black eyes in place, and then this here is this red ribbon that I showed you earlier that I was going to use. And I'll show you this. I just cut a circle out of it, just like that, and glued those 2 into place. Now for his mouth, and I talked about this, but I guess the camera didn't want to film it. I used a brown Bic Sharpie marker, or you know, alcohol marker. And at Old Time Pottery, when I saw the Scarecrow the first time, they just had little black dash lines making his mouth really simple, and I thought, I can do that. So I just did this with the Sharpie marker. I just made the mark like so, and then I went over it 2 or 3 times to get it pretty dark. I'm even going over it again now because I think it looks really good to be real dark like that. So that's his face. His face is super simple, and I'm sorry, I don't know, I'm learning this new camera, and he and I are not friends at the moment, but that's how his face was done. Really simple. Okay, so I've put this piece of green ribbon on top of our ruffle now, and I'm going to run that all the way around nice and snug to be kind of the first part of our hat brim. But I've let that dry really firm because I want to pull it kind of tight. So I put that down, let it dry, and now I'm going to run the hot glue all the way around. This gets hard for you guys to follow along, but I will try. So put some glue down, and then pull this snug into there, and use your little tools to press that into the glue. We're going to put another ribbon on top of it too, so some of that glue that's coming through will hide. Don't worry about that too much. Okay, so I have the ruffle on, the green all glued down. His face is all done. See how cute that is? All right, now then, I'm going to take this plaid, which I love, and I'm going to glue it on the place where the ruffle and the green meet. Does that make sense? I think it does. And I'm going to hot glue it down just like I've been doing. So I'm just going to run a bead of hot glue and run this dude all the way around. That's super cute. I've started everything on this same corner over here, by the way, so everything kind of has its own starting point. And what I'm doing here is just putting the hot glue like actually on the edge of that green. And then I'm just going to center the plaid. This will just kind of cover it where they meet and kind of decorate it up, kind of finish it off. That's so cute. I love it. What I'm doing on this end is just folding the ribbon down. It's hard for you to see that with my hand all in the way. Taking it, folding it under like this, and then gluing that down so it has a nice finished edge. So we'll run some glue all the way down. There we go. And then tuck it. How cute is that, guys? I'm in love with this. I think this is turning out cuter than I expected to. Okay, cuter than I expected it to. Now, here is this flower that I really want to put on here. It's really big and oversized, and I'm afraid it's too big. So I'm going to see if I can't alter it in some way. This middle piece, I'm going to see if it's too small, because I can take this guy apart. That's not too bad. Let me see how this works. Here's what I'm thinking. If I take this off of here, don't be afraid to do this kind of stuff. If you need to alter something, just do it. No big deal. So if I take this off, see, it leaves me with that little flower, and that's not bad. And I'm thinking I could put a bow down and then put that on the bow. So I'm going to cut this piece away so it'll be flat. And the hot glue will hold that together when I put it down. All right, now for a bow. I'm going to use the green and the plaid. And what I'm going to do is just tie a bow. Just going to do a little bunny ear bow like this. Remember, it's got wire in it. So we're just going to play around and get it like we want it. And I'm making it kind of large, the bow kind of large because I need this to be in the middle. So see, I still want to be able to see bow on either side. So there's the green part. Just going to cut this off and we'll deal with the edges in a second. Then I'm going to do another one to go on top out of this pretty plaid. I'm just going to glue that onto the middle there. A little dot of glue. Stick that down. Then I'm going to glue this to the side here, like so. Putting a big glob of glue there, so I know it'll catch and stay, and I'm going to hold that till it gets good and set. Now I'm going to come in here and cut these at an angle, just to kind of clean them up. And then we'll glue this guy on. See, he's the perfect size now. He was just way too big before. But I like to dig into my stash because I don't like to have to buy anything if I don't have to. Get this guy in that glue. Now, this is one of those projects where if you have a lot of glue left over, kind of like little glue strings and stuff, take your heat tool or a hairdryer and hit it with that, and it'll get all those little hot glue streamers off and things like that. Because I don't like to do that on some projects because I don't like to put heat, like especially a paper project. But something like this, that extra heat's not going to hurt anything. Guys, do you love him? I think he's so cute. I wish I could get him where you could see him. Here we go. Let's do it. Well, let's see. That his basket piece stops him there, so I'll do him sideways. I think he's so cute. I can't wait to show him to you in pictures. Now, for today's pictures, you're just going to see the basket. But when I do my fall home tour, be on the lookout for him because I'm sure he'll be somewhere in the house. I'm not even going to add anything to the bottom like I originally thought because I think it makes his face look a little longer. I'm afraid I'll show you. I'm afraid if I put something at the bottom of him, let me find something I can just show you with. How about this? If I did this, it kind of shuts him down. See, it kind of makes him too short, and I like how that kind of opens his face up. So there you go, guys. A quick, easy, take your stash and turn it into something else project. Now, I love to see when you guys recreate things that I show you how to do here on Maymay Made It. So if you do one of these baskets, please share it with us over on our Facebook group called Maymay Made It, and so did I. I cannot wait to see your recreations. Talk to you soon, guys. Bye-bye.